So what do you think of when I say 3 meals a day and a place to sleep? That's what you get. Well, when I grew up, man, that was how you describe jail. You got 3 meals a day and a place to sleep, so it's not a bad place, is it? And now I feel, man, that's like most jobs, isn't it? Man, we're all in these jobs that we hate because we're getting money to buy 3 meals a day and a place to sleep. So what's the difference between that and jail? I don't see a whole lot, tell you the truth. So I think the object is, how are you going to get out of that trap? And there's 100 ways to do it, I guess. But the most important thing is that you do something, and because otherwise life closes in on you, man, and you think you're helpless and stuck and you don't see alternatives or options or whatever. I gotta pay the rent, I gotta do this, I'm convicted, committed to this, that, the other thing. But you have to start slowly. So maybe it's not a full-time job, you start a part-time job. And so easy on the internet, there's so many places to get little, jobs and gigs and ways to make money without spending money. See, the most important thing you do when looking for something else, you can't spend money. Because you're hurting so much, you don't like what you're doing, you want to get out of that so bad, and someone says, oh, I'll solve your problem, you just give me $300 and you'll be making $1 million, just like I am, in 6 weeks. That ain't gonna happen. He's gonna get his $300 or whatever, and he's gonna be long gone, and that's what it is. And you don't know what really works. You're trusting somebody else to, that you think they're right because you don't know what's going on. Well, they don't know what's going on. All they know that's going on, they know what to say to get your money. And that's what they concentrate on, and making you hear what you think you want to hear so they can get your money and you think you solve your problem. Well, the reality is you got to solve your own problem, and you'll figure out your way to do it. That's the way you really solve it. You're not going to, somebody else solve the problem that way. It's not going to work for you. And you have to trial and error your own way to solve that problem. And now on the internet, there are so many ways to do that. Just don't spend any money, because you start spending money, you're going to be discouraged and you'll never try again. And you can't, because life is about trying and falling down and figuring out again. So you can keep doing that if you're not wasting money doing it. Your time is fine. You got that energy. You have to learn. And, it's like going to school or whatever. You have to learn something all over again. It takes time. But you don't have to go to Harvard and spend, $60,000 a year to do that now. You can learn anything you want to know on the internet and figure it all out for free. So try things that don't cost money. Never spend money on something when it's a money issue, a problem you're trying to solve, and you think giving somebody else money is like, hiring a guy on a white horse and the Lone Ranger is going to come to town and save you. That ain't going to happen. You got to save yourself. But the tools are out there for you to do it. Well, if you're like a lot of people in this country, always wanted to be their own boss because they hated the person they worked for, or have all that pressure of trying to please somebody else all day, you probably thought about a franchise, because they market those like hell in this country, and it sounds, I got a magic way just to, make money and be my own boss. Well, they're wrong in both senses. You may make money, you may not, and your own boss, no, because actually, to me, what's crazy is when you buy a franchise, you're working for the corporate offices. They tell you what to do, how to do it, and everything. Man, to me, it's worse than being an employee, because they want a lot of money from you to buy a franchise. That's why franchises in this country are really set up for the rich folks, not for independent people. You're just going to work your butt off for somebody else, and being hot too, because of the loans. See what they do? It's another industry like housing and higher education that's subsidized by the government. See, that's why it's better to be a fat cat and have a franchise business. So you have an idea, say, hey, I'll franchise this, I'll do Lesko's, question mark suit, sell franchises all around the country. Well, you make a fortune doing that, because what you do is you convince people to get government money. See, there's special money. They like giving money to franchises because they think, oh, you're too stupid by yourself, and Lesko, but Lesko doesn't know either. And so they lend you money, you go bankrupt or you go out of business, and you have to pay back the money. But Lesco, because it was my franchise, I got the money long ago. You know, you got the money from the bank, gave it to me, and I say, here, go do the franchise, and you screw it up. You're SOL. And that's the way it is. Yeah. And that's why it's another subsidized industry by the government, subsidizing the fat cats to get fatter. And the little guy is stuck holding the bag again, like we were in AGI, you know, and the financial crisis we have here. It's the little guy, the taxpayers. You know. And here it's the guy who bought the franchise or the person or whatever. Now, we have a database. If you go to bigdatalesco.com, and you look at our franchise failures, so the fattest franchise failures. We have a database of 33,000, you know, franchises that got loans from the government for their franchisees, the people who bought franchises from them. Okay, now in these 33,000, we have it searchable, and so you could put in pizza or whatever you want, you know, over here by the search engine if you want to look for stuff. Well, here the failure rate. This is now organized by who's the biggest failures. You see, like Wings and Things. I've seen those around, right? Well, 94% of those businesses went belly up. So what happened? The people went who got the money, probably a few $100,000, because that's normally what you need, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, you know, for one of these little tchotchke franchises. Yeah, and then so you borrow the money, you know, from a bank, but it's subsidized, it's guaranteed by the government. So you got a business, you know, the Wings and Thing has all the money, and now you have all the debt, because you're out of business. See, and that's what it is. 94%. You know, Noble Roman Pizza. That's almost 90% again. Executive Tans, 80%. Look at all these businesses. You know, Athlete's Foot. Man, that was a big store, wasn't it? Wing Zone. Not sure what that is, but it sounds like another wing. Delis. You Build It. You know, Bread Dough, the French. Dream Diners, Smoothie Factory, Planet Beach. Actually, I looked up Planet Beach this because they have almost a 60% failure rate. And look at 248 loans. 248 loans. That's $47 million. And the government's out. They had to pay that. and the 248 people here have to, you know, are in bankruptcy now or whatever the heck it is. But Planet Beach, see, if you go to what does it require for them? See, here's their Entrepreneur Magazine does a little roundup of all the franchises if you want to get compare apples and apples. And you see, look, it costs, you know, about $150,000, $300,000, the franchise fee, so that's right off the top they're getting. But then you have to use this other money to pay for inventory, equipment, and all the stuff that the franchise company sells. You know, they sell it to you, the equipment, the inventory, all that kind of stuff. You know, that they're getting all that money. You know, and you're getting, you know, bupkis. You know, you're paying for it, and then hope you're going to succeed. And look at some of these rates, you know, are incredible. That's why, to me, it's all rigged for the fat cat. You know, they're the ones. So that, to me, there's more opportunity in starting a franchise business than there is in a franchise industry. You know, an idea like Lesco's question mark suits or whatever, than there is in buying somebody else. Look, Carvel Ice Cream, 56%. You know. A default rate, man, 56%, amazing. So if you sort this too by who gets the most money, you sort on the dollar amount given out in loans. Look at this. These businesses are getting $500 million almost from government loans that are subsidized. So you want a Super 8 hotel. I don't know what it costs, a couple $100,000 or whatever. You don't make it. Now, Super 8 already has your money. They don't care. You're stuck with the, you know, being in debt. And I went over to the SBA site, took a look and said, okay, what happens when I default on a business loan? Here it is. It tells you, you know, your credit rating is going to suck. You know, your interest rates are going to go through the ceiling. The government's going to foreclose on your property and all the collateral you got and everything. So they're coming after you, man. That's what it is about. But the fat cat who set it up and had a lousy idea or whatever, they're scot-free, and they have the money. They have the $500 million. Now, if you go to how many people, who does it more, who gets the most of these kind of government monies for the, look at that, Subway sandwich shop, 2,500 people who bought Subway sandwich franchises and got money from the government. Now, they only have a 10% default rate, which I guess that's not bad, unless you're part of the 10%. Yeah. Or Quiznos, there's almost 2,000 people there. They have almost a 40%, default rate. Man, so I mean, a failure, that's what life is about. But what happens is you get stuck. See, the fat cat's not getting stuck with it. But they're showing you, they show you how to get one of these loans because it's no sweat off their back. They're just helping you get them money. You go out and get a loan for a couple $100,000, give it to the guy running the franchises. They're very happy. Oh, but you know what I mean. He doesn't have a whole lot of incentive even to keep you in business because he's probably got all his money. So you pay them like 6, 7, 8% of your sales for the rest of your life. You pay them another fee after a couple of years too, just to have it. Look at Stone Cold Creamery. That's a guy 42% almost failure rate. These are what do you call them? Ice cream stores. And actually, the guy became governor of Arizona. I guess he's so good at getting government money, they made him governor so they could get more government money for the state of Arizona. So be careful of all this kind of stuff. I mean, to me, particularly if you want to be your own boss, man, that is, franchise just feels like, being in jail again. You're working with somebody else and they're beating you up, to follow their rules. And that's what the normal job is like. So why quit? Why pay somebody 300 grand to do that? When you get paid and it costs you nothing to have a job like that. But the opportunity is, man, to think of a franchise idea. What can you franchise? What would be cool, right? Question mark suits, yoga studios, anything. That's where the money is. Okay, watch this interview because you're going to remember what's really important in life. This woman is wonderful. Actually, she was in the military like for 10 years, Afghanistan, and came back. She's probably suffering from PTSD and things like that. But you get back to Iowa, after fighting in the wars like this, and sees that there's 26,000 people right in her county where she lives that are what they call food insecure. They don't have enough food. Man, she's out there in Afghanistan fighting, for justice and liberty all around the world, and our own neighbors don't have enough food. Wow, that brings you back to reality, And that's why you watch her talk, and you see how she has found so much purpose in her life, and that's what I see. I mean, you live in our society here, and everything's capitalism, and capitalism is basically being selfish. How much more money can I make than anybody else? How much? How can my car is bigger than your car? My house is bigger than and that's really almost the objective of capitalism. Now it's good because it makes us competitive and we get better stuff and everything, but it's bad too because again, there's a lot more to life than just that, isn't there? And that's why as a young person yet, she realizes that, and the part of your life that really can grow. I mean, it seems like we're basic human instincts is what's going on inside of our life, not what's on outside of our life. Most of us rule our lives by what's outside instead of finding what's inside and solving that problem and working for some higher good. If you're working for just a selfish reasons to have a bigger pile of money, a bigger house, a bigger car, I mean, that's all selfish stuff, and that gets old or actually they change. I mean, it's insatiable. It's like ice cream, you can never have enough. And it's not satisfying. But if you have something that's bigger than you to work for in life, man, that gives you the energy every day because now you have something bigger than you to work at. Now, even though you succeed or don't succeed, this is important to do. I mean, look at the heroes we worship and the people who sacrifice their own lives and everything to help a greater community. That's why we're here, is to be part of something bigger than us. And capitalism seems to take away some of that from us because we want to know how much we get for ourselves instead of, how do we grow or be important to other people or in the community or whatever. And that's why she started a fundraising campaign, to really also save this food insecurity. Why the heck are we, people of Iowa, the breadbasket of the world, right? Grow all our corn and wheat and all that kind of stuff. And they're starving, Because they don't have food for the local people. We make these, big farms that, make corn oil to run cars or whatever instead of feeding people. So she's taking extra land that is not being used to feed local people. So we don't have to drive in corn from California to Iowa. And when we're going to short of water, man, in this world, it's going to be tougher. So we really have to learn how to make this stuff local. Why don't we grow locally instead of wasting all this gas? I mean, you listen to her, how like 1 can of corn creates like 150 calories or something like that, but costs 1,000 calories to get it here. Now that's crazy, isn't it? So if you just grew it in the backyard or somewhere locally or whatever, man, you don't waste all that energy and whatever. And that's the way it looks like we're going to have to be going soon so we can all have enough to eat, right? If 26,000 people just in one county are hurting for food, wow, what's that going to be like in a few more years? That's why she sees this as something bigger than her to worry about, and gives her strength and everything and a purpose in life. That's why we fear death, because we think our life isn't important, right? But if it's important, then that becomes a little easier. So watch this. Well, Sonia Kendrick and FeedIowaFirst.com. Now, why the hell isn't everybody throwing money at you, right? You're trying to save the world. You got 26,000 people, you say, in your community that are what's the term? I mean, they're hungry as hell. But what's the official term for the... Food insecure. Yeah, it's fucking hungry, man. I mean, it's so stupid in our country that we actually have that many people in one community that are struggling in life just because of food. Can't we be a better country than this? Oh my God, we go all the way across the world. Like you were in Afghanistan, you were in the military 10 years, fighting wars and everything, and now you come home and you feed 26,000 people in your neighborhood don't have enough food. Oh man, and your heart is just hurting, so you start this nonprofit to change that. Ah, good for you. I mean, there's just nothing more important in the world for you to do than this. Fighting in Afghanistan, that was the country think that's important, but boy, if you have 26,000 neighbors that aren't eating.
The heartland of America.
Yeah, in the heartland. You're in Iowa. Right, that's right Wow. Well, if I don't lighten up, I'm going to cry soon. So and I want people to know how important this is. So to help you, what you need now, you're trying to get a brake job on your truck, right? So you're crowdfunding, just so this is where you're actually farming. You're showing people how to farm locally and get this fresh produce so you can get it to the hungry people. So they're not eating canned junk from somewhere. They're getting fresh stuff that's healthy and make them grow better and learn better and contribute better and love harder and everything. Man, you should be getting a Nobel Peace Prize or something soon.
I don't know.
So what got you into this, Sonia? Why?
Well, you said I was a veteran, and I came home, and I had a hard time reintegrating. But I went back to school and I became an agronomist, which is an agricultural scientist, and my master's is in sustainable food systems. So what I learned was not only do we have in Iowa almost 400,000 people to go to bed hungry, but we're all going to be hungry if we don't change.
Wow, I mean, you were saying, it's fantastic things like a can of corn is 120 calories, and we burn up 1,000 calories in fossil fuels to get that can of corn to somebody, right?
Yeah, we have energy inefficiency in our food system of an exponential amount.
Yeah.
It has to change. Just like recycling, everybody embraces recycling. We're going to have to embrace eating locally and eating the least energetically as possible.
So, I mean, is it because the existing system? I mean, we have the truckers union, we have everybody making money, the corn canners association, and all these. When you can go in the backyard and plant corn, you got all you want forever, huh?
Well, we have some of the best land in the world, and we shouldn't be importing over 90% of our food.
So, I mean, the country imports 90% of the food?
In the state of
Oh,
Iowa.
Iowa. So you, I mean, right, you're the breadbasket of the country, and you're importing 90% of your food. Is that because you're making petrol out of corn in there? What?
Yeah, it's because we don't have a diversified farming system. We specifically grow corn and soybeans, and we do chickens and turkeys and hogs, a lot of hogs.
Well, it's a boy. You got a big job. You're going to train everybody to be a local farmer instead of raising what wheatgrass or whatever it is to have gas for our cars. Huh?
That's right. Well, I believe what Gandhi said, that we can be the change by being the change.
Yeah.
Be the change that you want to see in the world. So maybe I can't change all of Iowa, but I can do something in my community.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, and it's a real serious problem right now. I mean, if you have 26,000 people in your neighborhood that aren't getting enough food, and you need help getting a brake job on this truck so you get the food to them, and this is a volunteer effort for you and your nonprofit and everything. So it's not, you're not in this business to be the food queen of America or something.
Most people are not even in my own community aware of the problems that are going on in their
Yeah.
own community, because they travel in a very small circle, and they don't see the need. And the reality is if they don't wake up to the need and they don't try to change the system, that they're going to be the ones that are in need.
Yeah.
And we need to do that together. But we can't get them to pay attention how we need to change our system. But I can slightly get their attention in regards to hunger.
Yeah. Well, that's it. We start one thing first. Okay, let's feed the people really hungry because they're not going to be happy doing anything. And I mean, if I was unhappy, man, I'd screw up the system. You're not going to let me play. I'm going to screw it up for the rest of you.
I believe food security is national security.
Yeah.
And that our democratic right to rule ourselves starts with our ability to feed ourselves.
Right. No, I believe, and that's what you're doing there, and you need help. I mean, what for $30 they could help you do this, and actually you could write off a tax deduction because you're a nonprofit, right? So anything, and you have an Indiegogo campaign, and to get there, it's Feed Iowa First. Now that's Feed FEED then 1ST.com. For us that flunked English, I like spelling everything to make sure people get it. And you're an Indiegogo, and you got about 2 weeks left. We get this up, and people know. But even after that, I'm sure you accept contributions after that, anytime, if it's after, or just any way to help you guys. I mean, what could be more important, than doing this kind of work and helping others? And that's why I really think that the biggest joy in life is giving, and you've helped us identify people who really need help so the rest of us could give and have that joyfulness of being able to give, and it takes very little to give, and you get so much out of it, and it's so selfish. That's what I think. Giving is so selfish. I'm just a selfish bastard. I want to give. Well, you're a delight, Sonia. Don't stop. Don't change. And you have 2 lovely daughters I met before we did the interview, and they look terrific. You're going to grow some more people like you. So you are a farmer right in your own home. And that's FeedIowaFirst.com. Take care, Sonia.
Thank you.
Bye. It seems that money to start a business is going crazy now. Not only in America, but in the world. Everybody wants to start a new business, but they don't want to start it. They want to invest in people to start it. So all these people that have made a lot of money in the world are looking for people who don't have money who want to start businesses, and they have good ideas. So if they think your idea is great, man, they'll give you a bunch of money to start your business and grow. Cities and towns and states are doing that even, so that you create create jobs. Investors are doing that. Fat cats want to do that. I guess they don't want to own restaurants anymore. They'd rather invest in young people or new ideas from old people or whatever it is, so they could be invested and maybe make more money than they ever thought before, because the money doesn't mean a whole lot from them. Now here's a guy, watch this guy I interviewed. He's from France. Now he came over here because he runs what's called an accelerator program. That's where accelerator programs, we talked about those before. That's where a new business idea, you go there and you present your idea, and what they do is give you money for your idea, and they give you a place to work. They give you 3 or 4 months, you live there, and you get all the expertise, marketing expertise, financial expertise, fat cat bankers, and marketing people, all this kind of stuff for free to help you to take your little business, and make it grow into something. Then they help you get more money, because maybe like this group gives you $100,000. They look for like 24 people every year to give them $100,000 and a ticket to Paris to come in their incubator. How'd you like that? 3 months in Paris, $100,000, and you build the business. Man, the government won't do that, but these people do. And they're traveling the country looking for ideas in America. Now, what they specialize in, though, is hospitality. So wine, food, travel, those kinds of ideas that entrepreneurs have, because they feel France is one of the leaders in the travel business and food and wine and everything. So they want to grow that industry. And that really represents, like, you talk to him, it's 1/3 of the economy in the world. This is where we spend 1/3 of our money on is food, wine, and travel. So they think, hey, this is a hot idea. So they're looking for people who have good ideas like this, in this industry. And they'll finance it and help you all the way through the process and get you bigger money, millions and millions of dollars after you take the $100,000 and grow that idea a little bit, and then you need more, and they help you all the way through. I mean, it's like this everywhere, man. I saw this when I was in Shanghai. All these fat cats out there looking for young people, and these young people, a lot of them do, just go to one and they get 50 or 100 grand, and then they go in another, and then they live off this money. Because, I mean, it's like any business. They all don't succeed, but man, the money is still there to keep trying. That's what's incredible to me. There's so much money out there for people to try ideas, and they're looking for people, like you that have an idea. You just have to know how to present it, and there's free help out there, from the business development centers and stuff like that to help you take your idea and present it to one of these incubator people. They'll find you incubator people in your area, or accelerator people. They're called a lot of different things depending on where you are. We got a lot in this country. There's other countries that have them and everything. So man, if you're looking to start a business, you can't ignore this. So watch this interview. This guy's traveling like 12 cities in the U.S. looking for U.S. entrepreneurs to give them $100,000 and a free trip to Paris. And when I went, it cost me a lot of money. I wish I knew about this. Vincent Predit, right? Is that how you pronounce it? Correct. Right. But more importantly, it's 33entrepreneurs.co, and you're what they call an accelerator program. And if people don't know about that, you take little businesses that want to become big, or ideas that want to become big, invest in them and mentor them and everything for growing to become the next Airbnb. But you're from France, and you're specializing just in wine, spirits, food, and travel, right? So you're here in the United States looking for entrepreneurs that have a great idea for those industries. And you say that's one of the biggest industries in the world, and France is the best at it, correct?
That's it. We just play to our strength, and we are here to support entrepreneurs, disrupting 33% of the world GDP. So wine and spirits, food and travel combined, you end up with 33% of the wealth created on Earth every year.
So that's 1/3 of the whole world is in what you're interested in, and France is really the leader of all that. I mean, our hamburger isn't going to make it compared to you guys, is it? But you're really here. You have a tour now. You're going how many cities? 10, 12 cities?
We are crossing 10 cities, from New York City to San Francisco through Canada, so really coast to coast, and we do so in a big bus to really deep dive, meet entrepreneurs wherever they are in many cities, so Boston, Montreal, Toronto, Chicago, Austin, Texas, Boulder, Colorado, Los
Wow.
Angeles, and today San Francisco.
And so you're meeting with entrepreneurs because you're looking right now, you're going to invest in 3 of these ideas and give them $100,000 a piece and bring them to France to train them how to be a multi-billion-dollar company, aren't you?
That's it.
What a deal, man. I don't have to join the Army to see the world or the Navy anymore. I could just come to you.
Please do. We are waiting for you in SF.
Yeah. No, it's a wonderful opportunity that you're presenting. But I mean, you're biased or whatever. It's really for you to find bright young men or ideas and women anywhere in the world, really, that have great ideas for this industry so you could disrupt the industry like Airbnb did, right?
That's it. We are looking for men and women. And namely in Boulder, Colorado, we had 3 women, 3 female founders winning the competition.
Wow.
So we run competitions across the globe. We have already organized today 35 startup competitions, 25 in Europe, 10 in the US. And we are already a global player. We are here to support entrepreneurs wherever they are, whatever the nationality. We are just looking for great teams, passionate people, ready to grow and scale up their ideas to deliver value, make happy customers, create jobs, and at the end of the day, make also their shareholders quite satisfied of their investments.
Right. I understand. If you don't have a sale, nothing happens, man. That's what life is about. But really, I mean, you're taking people with young ideas and really nurturing those ideas for these people and helping them out, not only with money, but other things. I mean, you must have a lot of talent, you know, in the wine, food, and travel spirits industry in France that could help people.
Of course we do. So we are basically working as a startup accelerator using the Techstars model. So we do have a lot of mentors. So all those guys, they have in common that many times they were unsuccessful, but one day they were super successful. So they have a lot of story to tell. They are great, inspirational people, and they can provide a lot of advices on the table. And they really help entrepreneurs to find their way, because entrepreneurship is a long journey. So we have people from the tech industry ready to disrupt and bring new ideas. We have people from the wine and spirit industry, so really insiders. They have all the connections, and their name really helps to open doors. And same for travel, and same for food. So we have a great bunch of people coming from all over the world, ready to help entrepreneurs creating the next unicorns in wine and spirits, food and travel.
But not only are you offering $100,000, you're offering $1 million worth of expertise to people.
Correct. And at the end of the day, we can reinvest much more after the acceleration program. We have a fund, a VC fund, ready to invest. Well,
so that's just the start. I mean, the $100,000 is just a start to see how they grow it, and then you're able to get these people more money as their business grows.
That's it.
Yeah. And you're doing 12 a year, so now you've more or less picked it up for this round, but people in the United States should really get in touch with you if they're in that industry, right? Because you're doing this all the time, finding new people.
We are always looking for new startups, new ideas, and energetic startups and teams to come and meet us. So everyone is more than welcome to visit us in Paris or Bordeaux. And we have 2 sessions a year. We call that cuvée or cohorts. We have 2 cuvées a year, one in spring, one in fall. And in each cuvée, we have 12 startups, altogether 24 a year.
I see. So in other words, twice a year, you get 12 startup companies, bring them to France and start teaching. How many months are they in France then?
It's a 3-month program.
3-month program, I see. And then you rest for a little while, and then another group comes in, and you do it all again. Well, that's a wonderful thing.
That's amazing. And so far, 3 in 4 startups do create an office in Bordeaux, where we are based, and try to, from Bordeaux, really develop a network in Europe and start selling their concept as well in Europe.
Wow. So in other words, you're really opening up, particularly companies or startups from America, open their mind to this industry, in Europe and the world, I guess, too.
Of course. But if you think of Europe, of course, seen from the US, it seems like a fragmented market. But if you consider Europe as a single market,
Right.
we're talking of 500 million inhabitants,
Yeah.
and it's by far the richest country in the world, before the US and before China.
Wow.
And we are here to help. We have a great network of mentors, European, but also globally. And those guys, they are here to help you, well, really penetrating that huge market that is called Europe.
Right. And you guys are better at food and travel and all that than we are anyway.
We just play to our strength. And we have great opportunities to offer beyond just investment and startup acceleration.
Right.
Also, we have also the whole lifestyle in France to offer. The city we are in Bordeaux, offers quite a similar experience like Silicon Valley. So we are close to the ocean. We have a lot of spots to surf. Even the mountains are not so far away. The quality of life is just amazing. You know, we also have, well,
And I'm sure good wine is just a stone's throw away anywhere there.
fine, good food.
Well, that's wonderful. It's so nice to have you in this country and stirring up the action so we can get part. You know, you're offering really entrepreneurs in America to be a part of that. You know, that 33% GDP of the world, which is in the food, travel, and wine and spirits industry, that you guys know better than anybody else.
So I offer all the startups and entrepreneurs that want to join us and meet us, maybe to come in 2 days from now on July 30 in San Francisco, meeting at the village on Market Street.
Ah, right on Market Street. Wonderful. So you'll be there 30th. Now, what any other cities left while you're on this tour?
The meeting in San Francisco is the culminating event. And then we are to fly back to Europe.
Oh, I see. So that's it. So if we miss you this time, it's really to get on the website, find out about you guys, and then if you have an idea, you know, if your business or a business idea, to find out how you guys may be able to help them. And because you're looking for businesses all the time, aren't you?
That's it, all the time. It's a never-ending quest.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Vincent. Glad to have you here in the country and inspiring us all to eat better and take advantage of that huge market.
This is what we do. So thanks, Matthew.
You bet.
Like your strength.
Take care. Au revoir.
Bye-bye. Au revoir.
Well, you know what's great about getting money from the internet, like our crowdfunding? You get more than what you asked for. Now, could you imagine like going to the bank and say, well, you know, I got this business idea, you know, I think it will take about $40,000 to make it happen and whatever. And you imagine the banker, you know, like being like the car salesman where he goes into the back room and pretends he talks to somebody and he comes back and says, you know what, my son, I think we ought to give you $400,000, not $40,000. This looks like a tremendous idea. We want to just throw a whole bunch of money at you. That's never going to happen. But it happens in crowdfunding. That's what happened. This next interview, you see, this guy had an idea for a foldable booster seat. Okay, so you know those booster seats that the kids have to have because the strap on the booster seat, I mean, on the strap on the car, you know, for the shoulder strap, the seat belt, you know, it comes up too high. So they have a booster seat so the child goes up so they don't, you know, choke to death in an accident. And so he invented a booster seat, folds up and puts in his pocket. Take it anywhere. So imagine you can put this in the child's knapsack when they go somewhere, and maybe they're carpooling somewhere, or going to play soccer, and somebody else's car, and you don't think they have enough booster seats. Yeah, I've got a booster seat. Or you know, your booster seat you stick in your glove compartment. You don't have to worry about it instead of having the 4 booster seats in your car because you're always worried about 4 kids coming. No, it solves all that problem. And what's neat about when you see these ideas that are coming out now, you know, they're not by some big company. I mean, you used to have to wait for, you know, Fisher Price or some big Fortune 500 company to come up with all these ideas, and they take years to develop because these big bureaucracies. Now it's a guy in a garage says, hey, I can do that, and he goes on the internet, gets money, and it's there. In a few months, you got your booster seat, your idea, and it's usually from a personal need. All these ideas, you know, somebody is, you know, and you watch his story, and he'll tell you, actually, he's living in the United Kingdom now, in UK, England, but he was in New Jersey and driving kids around, carpooling and all that in the van, And it was such a pain in the butt having these booster seats. Maybe there's a joke there somewhere. And so he said, God, there must be a better way. And there are all these big booster seats. So he found this one, or actually designed it, made it happen, folds it up, and he went on the internet looking for money to get it manufactured and everything, put a price on $40,000, and he's getting $400,000. Wow. See, I mean, it's just, it's a whole new ball game out there. It's a new way to live. And if you don't start thinking about using this stuff, man, the life is going to pass by. Whoop, there goes my puppet. Life is going to pass you by, you know, because everybody else is figuring this out. If you're still going to traditional sources, going to the bank or friends and relatives, no, they don't care about booster seats. But there's people in the world, you go on the internet, you know, there's millions and billions of people on the internet, and all you need is a couple hundred who think it's a good idea, and you're in business. That's what's so wonderful about all this. You have all that action right here in your laptop or your computer or your phone or wherever it is. You're connected to people all over the world. You don't need a gazillion customers. See, these big companies, you know, Walmart and everything, they need billions and billions of dollars. Man, you just need $500,000, right? That's enough. And you find them easily on the internet. You know, you don't have to be a big corporation to do that because you're connecting it into everywhere to find what you need. So watch this. Well, myfoldbike.com, you have just invented probably the world's most useful product, saving kids' lives, and it's just so easy, it seems. Why didn't somebody invent this before you? Why are you such a genius with such a simple product? Where did this come from?
Okay, so, you know, first of all, thank you. I don't think I'm a genius, but definitely it really came, I think, like all great ideas, from my own personal need. This is already 15 years ago when I had 3 little kids.
Wow.
I now have a 4th, but my 4th wasn't born at the time. And we were doing the carpooling. We were living on the East Coast of the US. We were carpooling with the neighbors. I'd drive one day, I'd put my kids carefully in their booster seats, and all the other kids were just shoved in the back. And the next day, somebody else's kids were safe and mine weren't. And we were running in and out of Manhattan and jumping in and out of taxis.
Oh, you were in the States at the time, huh?
Yeah. And we, you know, we never had any car seats for the kids in the taxis. And if we got a rental car, my parents would visit from the UK and we'd have to juggle these seats from car to car. And we just found that quite a lot of the time, our kids weren't protected with a booster seat because they were in a car that didn't have one. And I wanted to find a way of making something that was so small.
So we're talking about a booster seat. I don't think I said that yet. So this is a kid's booster seat that you could put in your pocket, right?
Well, definitely. So look, I like to do a little side-by-side comparison.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I have over here. This is a regular booster seat.
Right. Okay. Right. So that lifts the kid up high enough to get on the straps.
What we're talking about is this.
Ah, wow. You could put that in your purse wherever you go.
Grab and go booster seat. It's more than 10 times smaller than a regular booster seat. It's just as safe.
Wow. And really, so what does this do now? I mean, the other one makes you higher, makes the kid higher, so this, you know, the strap isn't across his mouth, right?
Exactly that. You know, you put a little kid in a regular car seat with an adult seatbelt, and they're fascinating. And there's 2 problems actually. Everyone knows that the seatbelt's in the face or the neck, and it's uncomfortable. The kid puts it with their arm or around the back, which, by the way, is really bad. But one of the bigger problems is the lap belt. Instead of it being on the bones of the hips, it's high up on the stomach. And that's really bad as well, because all the soft organs are there if they get caught in a collision. And a traditional booster seat, they may be big, but they are perfect. Very simple. It lifts the kid up, it puts the kid into the position of the adult, and the seatbelt fits. But the problem is, you can't carry one of these around with you everywhere. It's just way too big. And so what I thought was, you know, could we do the opposite? Instead of lifting the child up to fit the adult seatbelt, could you hold the belt down to fit the child? And that was the idea. I had it.
So there's little like loops on the edge of the seat that the child would sit on that would bring it down to them, right?
So the way MyFold works is it's a flat mat. It's got these guides. You pull them out. There's a little lever. It's got 3 settings depending on the size of the child. Sit to the width of the child. And then the child sits on it here. And when they fasten the adult seatbelt, they just hook the lap belt through.
I see. Wow. Actually, your video on Indiegogo is terrific, man. That video you have, I mean, I don't know who you got from Hollywood to help you do that, but
Because we've got a great team of people working.
That is a wonderful. And this thing is what, only $35, $40 or something like that's it?
Yeah, well, it's going to be $39.99, which we all know is really $40, but $39.99, but we're selling it now on Indiegogo for $35 if you buy one, and we're selling multiple packs. People are buying 2s, 3s, 6s, 12s. We're even selling 100 packs.
Wow! 100 packs. But more importantly, a couple. I mean, you could put one in the kid's knapsack or whatever, and where he goes, he's got a seatbelt, and you don't have to worry about it. He's safe, right?
The idea is that if the child takes it with them, puts it in the school bag, they can be safe no matter whose car they're in. And people are buying 3s, and they're buying 3s as they're putting one in the bag, they're putting one in the glove box.
So instead of having a bottle of scotch in your glove compartment, you should have the safe one of these in your...
It's small enough that you can get some good scotch and the...
And you got money left over to do that. Yeah, I mean, these must be a fraction of the cost of the booster. I don't know what booster seats are, but they're certainly a lot more than this stuff, right?
Look, you can go to Costco when they're stacking them high, and you can get something very cheap.
Yeah.
But this is not expensive. You know, this isn't $100 plus.
I know, that's what I mean. But $35 is neat, so it's easy to have a bunch. And then plus now you said, because you sold so many of these things, I mean, you blew this out of the water in 3 hours on Indiegogo, didn't you? You made your quota.
We were so lucky. I mean, we obviously hoped that people would find this motivating, but in 3 hours we blew through the target. We've already sold around 10,000.
Wow, 10,000. And you were expecting to sell, what, 1,000 if you were lucky?
That was it. That's what we thought. But we've sold in 62 countries. And the beauty of Indiegogo, of crowdfunding, is you can sell to people all over the world. And it's just been a wonderful experience for us, and true validation that people really do want.
Well, that's the most important. But also, as a marketing or business guy, now you don't have to hire a big international sales force because they all came to you.
It's not just the customers coming. I mean, we've been approached by distributors in countries all over the world who are saying, you know, they'd like to represent us in those countries, which, again, when you think about the process you'd normally go through as a business to do that, to get the message out and to identify people and to interest them, people are coming to us.
So that's what I mean. You have very little marketing expense now because people are coming to you instead of you having to beat on them and force them to take this. They want it so badly. And particularly the 10,000 items already sold. It's just a few weeks on the campaign. You got a couple more weeks to go. But actually, when you planning to deliver? Because you guys are pretty set up to deliver on time, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, we're telling people that delivery is March next year.
Well, that's terrific.
You know, by the end of the campaign, it's 7 months away.
Right.
And we're fairly confident that we're going to do this. We're not one of those campaigns that actually is using the money that we're raising now to deliver the product. We're an established company. We have money from our investors before we went for the Indiegogo campaign. And so we're just on track to deliver this.
So you were set that you already could throw the switch before you started the campaign. You just want to know how big the switch should be.
We just wanted to make sure that we were making enough and not too many. And now
you got to make more.
Our first production run is going to be 5 production runs.
Right. Well, you got to make more. And you were a guy who had a normal, executive job at a big company running stuff, and now you're just a 2-man operation having the time of your life, aren't you?
Something like that, yeah. I mean, I've worked for some of the biggest companies in the world, all over the world, and those kind of jobs are wonderful and exciting. But here, we're taking something that we thought of, we're bringing it to market, we're getting instant validation from the crowd out there who are telling us what they like about it and what they don't like about it. They tell us what colors we should manufacture this in. Is that not the most amazing thing?
Now that's a great lover, they tell you what they want done. What you should do to make them happy. Yeah, well, people all over the world love you because of MyFold, right? Because they love MyFold. And it's just a wonderful idea. I mean, to save a child's life. I mean, so many people here, at least in the States, we still have a big problem. And you said there's data out there. Half the people don't even use child seats, even though it's a law they have to.
There's some US data from 2012, Pediatric Magazine, so it's a professional source. They said half of kids in America don't have a booster seat when they're carpooling. And it's not because the parents don't love them or don't want them to be safe. Yeah. It's just logistically, it's difficult. You've got a minivan, 6 seats. You can't have 6 booster seats around. And if you suddenly have to ring a friend and say, I'm held up, can you go and pick up little Sally from school? And you haven't planned it in advance. You know, life is often about being spontaneous. Absolutely. And car seat planning takes the spontaneity out.
Right. Well, you got it. You put it in the glove compartment. You're going to pick up a kid anymore. You put it out. And it's MyFold, MyFold.com. That's the way to save your life, save money, save everything, and show the love to you because you're responsible for this. Thank you so much, John. Pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you so much for having us on.
Hi.